Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Converge with Us podcast. I hope everyone is doing lovely today. I am coming to you today to talk a little bit about commemorations and cultural celebrations. Okay, we just wrapped up Black History Month, Women's History Month, and International Women's Day. So we've had a little bit of time this year to celebrate those moments. We have a few more coming up. Lots more coming up this year. So I want to talk about something that's near and dear to our hearts, certainly something our clients think about a lot at Converge. And it's about how do we show up in these moments and celebrate these moments in a way that's not performative. Like no one wants to have something that's inauthentic out there, right? So today I want to give you 5 tips on how to celebrate these commemorations in a way that feels authentic to your organization, but also that actually honors the community that you're trying to serve. All right, so let's jump in. Tip number 1, you want to really actually plan for these moments, right? Tip number 1 is make a list at the top of the year of the moments that you want to celebrate. Okay, we want to think about the whole year, the entirety of the year, and think about the commemorations that we want to celebrate. And you want to notify your employees of the moments that you plan to celebrate for the year. We don't want to just show up ad hoc or last minute for these events. And so this really helps set the expectations of what you will and what you won't be able to recognize as an organization. And of course, if you need help trying to identify those moments throughout the year that you want to celebrate, we got you covered. Okay, we have a beautiful calendar on our website for you to check out so you can see the full list of the annual events that happen every year to celebrate these cultures. Okay, so tip number 1 is start early, plan early, make a list, and communicate that list with your employees so that they're aware. All right, tip number 2 is to start small, particularly for our startups, our small organizations that you're trying to figure out what moments to celebrate, where do we start, how do we be inclusive, how do we honor the moments that come up. Really start small. Take a look at that calendar. Know that, we want to be as inclusive as possible, but we can't celebrate every moment. It's impossible for us to be able to celebrate every moment. So we want to, again, think about which communities make sense for us to celebrate at this time. Maybe you think about your business, people that are in your ecosystem, your employees, your clients, your customers. What communities make sense for you as a business to make sure that you honor, and really start there when defining which moments to celebrate, okay? Starting small really allows you to add more moments to celebrate in the years to come. So you can always add additional celebrations with years to come. Remember, you're on a journey, so you want to start small, really do a couple of things well, and then add on to that list of moments that you might want to celebrate over time. All right. Tip number 3, we want to tie the celebration to your business. I mentioned this in the previous tip a little bit, but in order for this to make sense and for you to show up authentically in the market, whether you're celebrating internally or celebrating externally on your social media, as an example, we want to make sure that it makes sense for your business. So, for example, when I was at Airbnb during Black History Month, we would work with Black hosts and we would honor Black hosts. That made sense for us, given that we were a marketplace for hosting and home sharing, okay? At a previous client of ours at Converge, it was another connection point of a community organization through a platform. So for their commemorative moments, they celebrated local community owners and local community change agents, right? And so again, think about what makes sense for your business when actually planning for these moments, particularly now that we're back open and people are having activations. We really want to be, again, authentic in those celebrations. So make sure you tie those celebrations to your actual business outcomes and business priorities. All right. Tip number 4, start local. Okay, I mentioned that client of ours who really worked with local change agents as a way to celebrate their commemorative moments. Think about what makes sense to your local communities, whether that's where your organization is headquartered, whether it's where a lot of your clients and your customers are from a location standpoint. Start local, okay? It may be tempting to write a check or give a donation to a national organization, and that could be fine, that could make sense. But particularly when you're starting out, I think employees really like when you invest in your local community. And so we want to really think about, what are you doing in your own backyard, such that you are celebrating and honoring during these commemorative moments, but also celebrating your community. All right. And the last tip number 5, is really when you think about programmatic elements for commemorations, focus on generating awareness around the community that you're celebrating, okay? Sometimes we see people, do programmatic things that just don't make sense for the organization. And so to sort of play it safe, you want to think about, what are things that we can do to generate awareness around this culture and this community? Okay, so those are just a few tips for us on how to help you think about commemorations in a way that's not performative, in a way that feels authentic to your organization. Again, you have a couple of good times coming up. We have our Asian Pacific Heritage Month coming up in May. We have Pride coming up in June. So as you're planning for these efforts, again, hopefully these tips are helpful for you to think through. All right. I'm going to leave you with a couple of my favorite examples of companies that I think are doing this right. It's probably helpful to see an organization or organizations that tend to do this in a way that just lands, in a way that honors the community and feels authentic to the company. All right, so one of my favorite brands is Ben & Jerry's. You may have seen how they show up and stand up for different social movements. And so that organization, if you want to do a little research on how they show up and how they approach their celebrations and honoring these moments, that would be a brand that I would check out. And another recent campaign that has been launched was Polo. So actually Ralph Lauren had a beautiful commemoration and a way to honor historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, and the history of fashion with those organizations. And so, check out those 2 brands of ways. Those are external manifestations of celebrating, these communities in an external way that you can definitely check out. All right. So as always, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. Check us out at convergefirm.com. We're here to help you brainstorm through this for your organization and to help you design things that are authentic to you. So definitely reach out to us, and we'll see you next time.